Hey, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. In this Tarot Tells the Truth series, we are breaking down the Kevin Federline book and testing out some of his stories with the tarot. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. We are just wrapping up chapter 3. And I want to make sure that we keep these videos as short as possible. I will do a whole playlist of them, but I want to make sure we keep them as short as possible so they're digestible. The book itself is a bit tedious. And I will say at this point, one of the things that I do think Kevin Federline was truthful about was the kind of person he is. Whatever you suspected about him, it really does shine through in the book. So if you think that he is just a goofball that, stepped in it, he kind of is. So I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're getting some insight. I'm trying to read from the book, but not too much. I don't want to get in trouble on here. He does say in chapter 3 that he knew deep down that him and Shar were not right for each other. He questions whether it was the living situation with her family all being moved in. We already know from the last reading that they were to help. They were there to help. He says, the power was getting shut off and whatnot. An interesting thing that he does say is that at red carpet events, Shar did not have him walk with her. So let's take a look and see what was going on there. Was she trying to keep their private life private, or was she trying to not let Kevin get bit by that celebrity bug? So let's see. Why did she not have him walk the red carpet with her? I do think that her people said that it wasn't a great idea to have him walking with her. I think he wasn't a celebrity. He says in the book that he questioned whether it was because of that as well. I think there may have been some questions about that, which is terrible. I'm not on board with that. And I think that the omission of him on the red carpet was a bit of an injustice. How did Shar actually feel about it? She was okay with keeping their private life private. I think that was a bit of it. I think he's not a celebrity. Let's keep him out of it. Let's not have any questions. There is a thing, and it was more prevalent, I think, back in the heyday, the golden age of Hollywood, that when a celebrity got married, there was some of the attractiveness came off them. I know when Brad Pitt got married to Jennifer Aniston, it was, a lot of us said, well, it should have been me. I didn't say it should have been me. God forbid. I did think he was a hot cowboy in Thelma and Louise, but there is some fandom that kind of pulls away from it because the chance of hooking up with that particular individual goes away. And I think that's like the whole thing with like Harry Styles. Harry Styles is going to be single for a long time because he's got such a rabid fandom. So there was no reason to have him on there. He's not a celebrity. So he claims he was looking for a way out. So was he out there partying, looking for the next best thing, or was he just avoiding the situation? A relationship that was falling apart. So I think he was not pulling his weight in the relationship and in the family. I think he wasn't living up to his responsibilities, being a supportive spouse and partner. I think he was hitching his cart to her. And I think there was some convoluted, since I, am in the shadow of her celebrity. It's keeping my star down, which, um, was he avoiding dealing with the relationship stuff? Absolutely. Absolutely. He was avoiding it. So, again, he was in his 20s. We're going to give him a pass a little bit on this because you don't function really great in your 20s. I think everyone's adolescent until 25 or 30, depending on your development. And I think he was just kind of not being there. Was he partying and trying to avoid it? Absolutely. That 10 of Cups is a big yes card. So he was having a good time with his friends. Was poor Shar Jackson bankrolling his fun times? Was he doing like the preview to Britney? We're going to find out about when he goes to Vegas. He takes his friends to Vegas on Britney's time. That's a yes. And the Four of Pentacles, he was spending her money freely and chaotically. Chaotic, the Britney and Kevin story. So here, I think he was being encouraged by his entourage. I think people were saying, oh, she's a Hollywood celebrity, blah, 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 blah. He could spend the money. He could live the way he wanted to. I think he was doing that. He wasn't looking for, a quiet family life like he claims. So we're going to move on in to chapter 4 now. And I'm sorry that I had to wrap around the chapter. I wanted to do more than one chapter in each reading because I can't read on this book forever. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if any of you are reading or listening to it. So in this chapter, he does meet Britney at Joseph's. This was a club in Hollywood. I believe it was Hollywood. I don't think it was just LA. He claims he was not starstruck yet. He said to his buddies before that night out, I'm going to see what's up with her tonight. He's about 25 now, and she's about 20 or 21. So let's just say she's 21 because she was in a club. Did he set out trying to hook up with her that night? King of Swords, yeah. Ill intent. Wanted to create a better opportunity for himself in Hollywood with those Hollywood types. And I do think he was already kind of over the whole Shar situation. I think he was looking to get at it. Let's clarify that a little bit. The Empress, the mother, and that's regret, kids. That Seven of Pentacles is absolutely regret. We've got some regret there. So they wind up dancing. He's dancing with some of Britney's other dancers, including Teresa. We're going to hear more about her in Amsterdam. And he's making eyes at Britney the whole time. And early 2000s, crazy hip hop, crazy vibe. Everybody's dancing. Everybody's having a great time. He knew Teresa from back in the day. He claims that Britney called Teresa over and whispered something. Is this version of the story true? Did he get introduced to Teresa? Did he get introduced to Britney at the behest of Britney? Or did he ask Teresa to introduce them? So did Britney ask to speak with him? Devil in reverse. I'm going to say no. Did he ask Teresa to introduce them? Nine of Wands. Yes, he asked. So if we're going to do fact or fake, fact or fake? I'm going to say fake. I think Kevin asked Teresa to introduce them. That's what I think, kids. So he claims that Teresa shot him a look. You better not mess this up. All right, really? Again, we're going to find out more about Teresa when we get to Amsterdam on the tour. He's not working on the tour, just so you know. But he lies to Shar Jackson about that. So he's got that going for him. At least he's consistent. Britney invites him back to the hotel with the rest of the dance crew. She says, we're heading back to the hotel for a swim. He says, I'm down. They drive over, and they were at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And she had a bungalow with a private pool and a hot tub. Everyone jumped in the water. Britney got in the hot tub. He sits there. She notices the tattoo on his arm for his daughter, Corey. So I guess that tattoo has her name, I think her star sign, and her birth date. And so there's a little bit of a conversation about whether she minds that he has a daughter. Doesn't really matter to her. She doesn't make a big deal out of it. So at this point, who's trying harder? Is it Britney or Kevin? Who's trying harder? Britney? Kevin? He's trying harder. Britney, there's a lot of people there. She's having a party. He's trying harder with that Empress card. He is nurturing the snot out of her. He is loving on every minute of this. So they hook up, and he winds up staying for 3 days. 3 days he stays there. He thinks it's a one-night fling. What was his disposition in that 3 days? 3 days in the morning. Where my Jane's Addiction fans at? 3 lovers in 3 ways. What was his focus in that 3? Oh, we got 2 cards right in the middle. To let her know that he was unattached and had nothing to lose. What's crossing us? 2 different lifestyles. Look at all the pentacles, though, guys. Lots of pentacles. Under the surface, 5 of Wands. He better work, bitch. Make that work. What's behind him? 9 of Cups, an easy, settled life. What's above him? The Hermit. He really was trying to tell her he was so worldly. He knew so much because he pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Outcome card. Ace of Cups here. This is the moment that he was like, Shar Jackson, you're out of my life. I don't care what's going on with you, who's in your belly, but we are done. So I think this was very, very calculated. What was Britney thinking in that 3 days, guys? What was she thinking about this cat in that 3 days? I found a guy that is a solid, rock solid dude. Justice in reverse. What a shame that he is possibly already taken. Did he tell her that he was still with Shar Jackson? No. He said that they had broken up, but I'm sure that was a sob story. Under the surface, just, oh, thank God, this blessing. I got this great guy. What's behind her? Judgment. Judgment was way behind her on this one. What is on her mind? 10 of Wands. I can finally unwind and settle down. And then the 4 of Wands. What a disappointment. Can't have this guy in my life. I think he gaslit her during this 3-day sex extravaganza. I think that he said, oh, what a shame that we can't be together. And I've said it before. I had the occasion, there was a celebrity that I had been around that Britney Spears dated. And it was prior to this, and her people were very, very careful about it. They did not want her dating that celebrity. So, so they became really close and connected in those first few days. I realized a lot of things Britney cared about, who she was behind the spotlight, were exactly what drew me in so fast. So mirroring, was he mirroring her? Queen of Swords, the Teller of Lies, and the Magician. I'll do anything I can to get in those pants or get in that mansion or whatever, get on that tour. Was he trying to hook up or get on the tour? Let's just do that for fun. Was it a hookup? 7 of Swords. Yeah, I dropped a card. Hang on, guys. We'll give it a shuffle again. Was he trying to get a career out of it? 9 of Wands, trying to open up some opportunities. Yeah. Yeah. Through the kind of business. So, not just women do that. Not just women gold dig. I'm just telling you. So, when they left the hotel, the paparazzi turned it on full steam. Full steam. How did K-Fed feel about it? 7 of Cups. Everybody's seeing me. This is what I needed. He did feel somewhat out of control about it. It wasn't measured. And I think he already saw the narrative about him unfolding, that he was just like, he calls himself trailer park trash in this. And I think he does see that. What was Britney thinking about the whole paparazzi stuff? Fooled. She wanted them to see her new boyfriend. She didn't care. She didn't care. And in retrospect, I think now she looks back at that with a different eye, because it did kind of, I hate to say consummate the relationship in the public eye and the tabloids, but I think it did consummate the relationship. How do you really feel about Shar Jackson at this point? How did he really feel when he hooked up with Britney? How was he really feeling about Shar Jackson? 6 of Cups, still very sweet on her. 7 of Wands, biding his time. 7 of Cups, I don't have any opportunities. 4 of Cups, I'm going to do some reckless stuff to see if I can find a better fit. Now, we do kind of have the relationship. I mean, the relationship was really fast. They were engaged like within 3 months and married within 5 months of meeting each other. And I did that with my first marriage. Operative word here, first marriage. I did not do that. I've known Greg for 100 years. But you can't really get to know someone that quickly. You just can't get to know them that quickly. So, wow. Roller coaster ride. Britney asks him to go on tour with her. Not in a professional capacity, unless gigoloing is a professional capacity. He tells Shar that it's a job. He tells Shar that this is a job that he is going on in Europe. He flat out lies to her. Was he still involved with Shar at this point? 5 of Cups. It was a very unhappy relationship. This was his way of breaking up. Did he deceive Britney? The fool, yes. But he wasn't going to miss out on this opportunity. He wasn't going to miss out on locking it down even further. Lock it down. So, did Shar have questions about this? She was angry that he was going on tour. Did she ever see any money from it? He claims 7 of Wands in reverse, 5 of Swords. No. 8 of Pentacles. He claims that he was generous and gave a lot of money over to Shar. I don't think that he did. I think he said, oh, with the exchange rate, like I think he made up some bullshit story about this. The exchange rate, was too much, and it was really expensive to be on tour, and he wasn't getting that much per diem, and the food's terrible. Like I think he made up a whole bunch of stories. I don't think he really did what he needed to do. So he does admit in the book that he handled the breakup with Shar poorly. He wasn't honest or direct. Before I left for Europe to meet up with with Britney, I saw her and Corey and told her that I booked a commercial shooting overseas. When he finally called her, he remembered pacing the floor, heart pounding. I told her about Britney and the connection we had and how I couldn't ignore it. I could hear the heartbreak in her voice and the pain it caused. She was angry, but under that anger was something deeper, a sadness I couldn't undo. He reassures her about the kids and says no matter what, he's going to take care of her. Mind you, she's pregnant with Caleb. So he's leaving her pregnant for the biggest pop star in the world. I'm sure she was incandescent with rage. He had let things unravel instead of facing them head on. He told himself the distance would make things easier. He also says that writing this book forced him to confront things, and leaving her was not the way that he wanted. So, and that's how he wraps up chapter 4. Chapter 5. He goes on tour. Now, having been little editorial here, having been entourage on a tour, I was entourage on my ex-husband's tours. It's an easy existence. It's not that complicated. You get up whenever you want. You have no responsibilities. You can smoke as much weed as you want. You can skateboard around the parking lot and see everybody tailgating. That was one of my favorite things to do. I would go skate around, and security would always tell me that keep your laminate inside your sweatshirt so people don't, take your take your laminate, knock you down, all that. And we had our photos on our laminate, so you couldn't really use somebody else's that had your name and your picture on it. So certainly no one was going to roll in looking like me. But he said he was focused on her and making sure she felt loved and supported. So was it all just the nurturing spirit of love bombing? Nurturing spirit of love bombing. Yes, he was working hard for the money. But it wasn't working. This is interesting. It wasn't working as well as he wanted it to. Why not? Why not? Why was it not working? 9 of Wands, the Sun, and Queen of Pentacles. She was working. She was distracted. She had a schedule. I think Britney functions very well when she has a schedule. And she had a schedule and a timetable to keep. And that is something that you do see on tour. There's times that things have to be done. So Britney's assistant checked in often on his needs. What did she think of Kevin? What did she think of Kevin? Let me pull her name up real quick. Felicia, Fee, they called her. What did Felicia think of Kevin? She saw his ilk before. 9 of Pentacles, kept woman, King of Cups. She found him insincere, and she also saw that there was an agenda. 9 of Wands, she kept it to herself because she didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. She didn't want Britney to be upset and have any drama on the scene. So personal assistants see a lot of stuff, Anytime you can get your hand on a personal assistant account of their experience with a celebrity, grab it and get into it because it's going to be good. You're going to get a lot of dirt. So Gregopedia. Yeah. You offered up that K-Fed may well have been the archetype for, and I'm going to use my sound effects, the classic boy. Now, if you didn't hear it the first time, boy. So locking it down. So was he, Greg, what do you think? You think he was?
I think he was the archetype.
Just
F-boy.
Yes, just a gigolo.
No,
and everything I
gigolo.
know. Not? Why not?
No, he's just a guy who, like, he walks around with it out like a dowsing rod, you know? He just follows it wherever it's taking it.
Okay, all right. So yeah, just a
and I think, hey, if this thing can make me money, great.
There you go, just a gigolo. So is he the archetype of the F-boy? We're gonna do one card. And we got Queen of Swords. Yeah, he really paved the way for some of those other guys.
He's a pioneer in his field.
He's a pioneer in his field. So thank you, Greg, for that contribution to this series. He says at one point, it was important for me to keep things real because that's who I am. That's who she needed. Or wait, it was important for me to keep things real because that's who I am. And that's what she needed. She spent so much of her life surrounded by people that wanted something from her. But I wanted her to know I wasn't one of them. I wasn't there for the fame or the attention. When Greg and I heard that, we both cracked up for about 5 minutes. So, fact or
Fact or fake?
Was K-Fed in fact being real? 9 of Wands, concealing himself. 3 of Swords, licking her wounds. 9 of Cups. I am gonna scratch this lottery ticket until it says winner, winner, chicken dinner. So no. All right. So was he there for the fame? High Priestess, in bad faith, yes. Baby, you're a star. He was gonna love her until he became a star. He wanted to be Mr. Britney Spears. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with what my cards are saying. Because I'm reading them inductively. I am reading them inductively right now. That means I'm just reading the meanings of the cards, not throwing my psychic spin in here. If I say I think, it's personal opinion, editorial. There are some interesting run-ins with security guards on this tour. So he runs into Lonnie, a security hire who we met through Shar once upon a time. Lonnie comes up to him and says, "What are you doing?" And he said, Kevin explains to him that he's in the process of breaking up with Shar, who is pregnant with Caleb, and that things are complicated. They're not happy. He really kind of lays it on thick. And then Lonnie says, "Be careful." What did Lonnie mean when he said, "Be careful"? Did he mean be careful with Shar? 8 of Wands. Yes. Be careful with that information that's going to travel. Did he mean be careful with Britney? Now, Lonnie was a deacon who became a security guy. So there's a little bit of morality, religious-based morality in there. A lot, probably. So I think he was like, this is like, you got to be careful with what you're doing here. Did Lonnie not like what he was doing to Shar? 10 of Wands. Yes, but I think he knew his place. And he reserved his judgment for himself and kept it. That's between him and God. He's got to, him and God, him and Shar, they've got to work that out. What about the Britney situation? What did Lonnie privately think of that? Page of Swords, he said he's lying. 7 of Swords, it is obvious you are shady. And Queen of Wands, why wouldn't you want to hook up with her? She's the Princess of Pop. Princess of Pop. You don't get that title for nothing. So did Lonnie, and Lonnie works for the family well into Britney's breakdown. He works for Kevin well into Britney's 5150. He works for Kevin. Kevin hires him. Did Lonnie let Shar and her family know? The sun, the world. 3 of Pentacles. I think he got some messages through. I think he did. Maybe that revelation, maybe the reason that Kevin breaks up with Shar is because somebody let that secret out. Let's take a look at that. Did Kevin break up with Shar because the secret was out? Did that happen? Did Kevin break up with Shar because the secret was out? 5 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Under the surface. Queen of Cups. Yep. Yeah. She knew about Britney. She knew he was putting it where he shouldn't have. And she called him out on it. And I think he initially denied it in that conversation. I think he initially was trying to tell her, no, 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 no. I'm just like doing a thing. But I think he tried to buy some more time. I think he did. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. So, Kevin the Snake.
What?
What?
Kevin's the one who gets all the girls. No.
So, I'm going to have to do a little sound effect here. Q, another security agent on the tour, looked at Kevin at one point and said, "You're on a sinking ship. What the are you doing?" What did he mean by that? What did Q mean by that? Did Q mean that Kevin was screwing up his world? That Shar was a sinking ship? Or that Britney was a sinking ship? Oh, that his secret was out? That it was an injustice to Shar? And Britney was it was obvious that Britney was like kind of at a high point. She was at a high point. I think it's funny that Britney kind of went in a different direction after K-Fed. After K-Fed. So Kevin, while he says that Britney has let her guard down and they're really getting to know each other and he's really just nurturing and supporting her, he alludes that some people on the tour maybe got a sense of who he was and what he was doing. So, what was the general consensus of Kevin on this tour? Shortly into it. Transformation, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is, an excess of emotion, an excess of support and helpfulness. We all have those people in our life. And we have the World card there. Two of Pentacles. He was trying to take his world in another direction. I think everybody kind of saw that. You see those types. You see the people that come in and try and sycophant it up and really try to improve their station by associating with rock stars, celebrities, pop stars, actors, those kinds of things. You see it on all kinds of stuff like that. Now we're going to get into some really, really salacious stuff here. So when they were in Amsterdam on this tour, which I promise you, tour in Amsterdam, Kevin Federline was running around from coffee house to coffee house, having a great time. Because at the time, that was like the legal place to go and get your buzz on. So one night they're in their room and they were all of the rooms were on the same floor, I believe he said, and having a great time. But he says this is the first real warning. He did know that people were talking some ish behind his face. He claims he's not a person who likes confronting people. So they have a whole floor to themselves, not just Britney and Kevin, but everybody. So she leaves and is not returning to the room for some time. So Kevin goes out to look for her. And eventually I decided to check and see if everything was okay. I stepped out in the hallway. Our door still cracked like most on the floor and headed toward the elevator. I passed one of the rooms, glanced inside and froze. There she was, Teresa sitting on the edge of the bed. Britney stood between her legs, hands on her face, and they were blankety blank going at it, full on making out. They weren't that they were kissing. So Kevin's first reaction to this Judgment. He was kind of a jerk about it. I'm surprised because I thought he was going to be like, now I got two of them. Now I got two girlfriends on the tour. Did he really want to leave? No, he did not want to leave. He was just, I hate to say it, guys, but this is ammunition to use later. This was ammunition to use later. The threat to leave, he called Felicity or whatever her name was, the assistant, and said, book me a flight, book me the next flight out of here, which is just so entitled. Anyone who's ever booked a flight, like if you say, book me the next flight out of here, you know it's going to be thousands of dollars, and you know it's not coming out of your pocket because he's not booking the flight. He's asking the assistant to do it. There's so many different layers to this. He wanted Britney to know he was leaving. He wanted the personal assistant to pay for it. Like if he even got out, I don't think he wanted to go. So I'm leaving. I told her in my tone, cold and final, you could do whatever you want, but this isn't what I came here for. If this is how it's going to be, I'm out. So, how did Britney really feel about this? Apparently, she begged and pleaded for him to stay. How did she really feel about this? Did she beg and plead for him to stay? Three of Wands. She said, go your own way.
Wait, stop, come back.
Yeah, wait, stop, come back. She said, do whatever you're going to do. How did it turn around? Oh, he said, well, I'll just go back to Shar. Three of Cups. That upset her. And that was when she made the grab to keep him there. So, yeah, she didn't want to lose. She didn't want to lose to the ex. So, gaslighting moment. Yeah, I'm going to say this was a gaslighting moment indeed. What do you think, Greg? Do you agree?
Totally. It was leverage.
It was leverage. Yeah, leverage.
The whole time he's at her beck and call, at her behest, and finally he has hand.
He has hand. Well, we know he doesn't like to use his hand. So, one of the things I did want to look at is he refers many, many times to how long he was separated from his daughter. Did he use that to gaslight Britney? Like, I'm just going to go back to my daughter. Yes. Yes, he used it. He was like, I've left my child. I'm not a good father in this moment. I came on this tour against my better judgment. And, I did this for you. I brought my magic wand. It is out. His divining rod. His divining rod that finds money. He came on the tour to keep her happy. He just wants to do everything to make her happy. And now I'm just gonna go because I'm not living up to the morality that I left behind. That's what he did to her. He basically told her that she was the reason that he was doing immoral things. You jerk face.
Doing an airport goodbye.
Airport goodbye. Thank you very much. So on the flight home, she asks him to marry him, and he says no. Sorry, I yelled, but he says no. Did he say no? He did. Was it gaslighting? Chariot in reverse. Five of Pentacles. This tick was not in enough. And I'm sorry. I said at the beginning of this series, I was going to try and keep my editorials to myself. I can't. This tick, he was trying to get deeper. I don't want to marry you. I just want to love you. I just can't keep my hands off you. You're so beautiful, baby. So they get home and they go to New York, and there's a video shoot. Snoop Dogg's on there, and she blows out her knee. And one of the things that he says in the book is that ACL, MCL, she just destroyed her knee. Oh, I'm sorry. We're in chapter 6, guys. Welcome to chapter 6. So once the European leg of the tour wrapped, we headed straight to New York. I remember the flight vividly because we were halfway over the Atlantic and Britney brought up marriage. He said, nah, not happening. Not in a cruel way, but that's what he says. He joked it off and changed the subject. So they go to a video shoot in Queens. Snoop Dogg was on it. They had a collab together. They were doing the video for it. And the shoot was running late and he was just hanging out in the trailer while she was filming the scene. Then suddenly, Britney's security guard, Tony, burst into the trailer, cradling her in his arms. She'd blown out her knee during the routine. I mean, completely wrecked it. ACL, MCL, whatever. She needed immediate surgery. I'm going to stop there. Does he not know what actually happened to her knee? Knight of Wands. 10 of Cups. 6 of Wands. The first reaction to this, guys, is, oh crap. There goes
the money train.
There goes my dancing monkey. There it goes. What do they call that monkey with the squeeze box, Greg? Is there a name for that?
Organ grinder.
Organ grinder. The monkey is?
No, the guy is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's dancing monkey.
Dancing monkey. The dancing monkey is gone. Now this is where I have a bit of an opinion. So she has surgery and they went from nonstop commotion to total stillness. I became her support system, helping her recover, making sure she had whatever she needed on planet Vicodin. I am confident that if you are Britney Spears, you can hire
someone more qualified.
When did he go to medical school? I didn't even take a first aid class. So this is where I think her substance use and his takes on a different level. My sister created the word alcoholiday. And I told her we have to put this in the Urban Dictionary because it is a weekend that may include 3 or 4 day weekend that includes may or may not include a national holiday where a person who has some issues with substances will imbibe, ingest, take on all sorts of frivolity and silliness nonstop. So we're going to call this an alcoholiday / spacecation. Did this become the threshold of some serious substance usage? Knight of Pentacles, that is not having anything to do. Queen of Pentacles, not having anything to do. 8 of Cups, not facing reality. 3 of Pentacles, and I do want to let you guys know when we see pentacles, they are usually pills. I think we have a pill situation happening here. Was he dabbling in her prescriptions? Was he helping himself? 10 of Swords, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes there. Was she taking supplemental things? Devil in reverse. No, I think the RX was basically what she was doing. But I think that Kevin was having a grand old time while convalescing. So it is at this time that they decide to get married. Because why wouldn't it be, Greg? When you're in the throes of recovery from an injury and you're on an opiate-based drug, like, wouldn't you plan out the rest of your life?
The person prisoner, and you're the only one taking care of them, and who else?
So
we're already spending all of our time together anyway.
now there is a school of thought here that being so busy as the Princess of Pop and having a grueling schedule, we've seen her cry in interviews when she says, I just kind of needed a break and no one would let me take a break. I wasn't allowed to take a break. The cessation of work perhaps created a vacuum in which planning could be made. What is true here? Were they substancing it up, or were they really planning their future together in a reasonable and adult fashion? Queen, huh?
When you phrase it like that.
So Queen of Cups and the Three of Cups in reverse, that is excessive substances being used, not having your emotions in the right place, living in the moment. So I'm going to say, I think the substances created quite an issue. So he does gets better, guys.
Oh, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. So they go ring shopping, and the first ring she wants is an antique, and I could not find any images of it, an antique engagement ring, fairly large. It was a 4.5 or 5 carat vintage diamond ring. Probably was one of the old cuts, like the old minor cuts, or if you ever get a diamond that's a mine cut, it is gorgeous. There's so many facets and it's so beautiful. After time passed, her taste shift. Maybe her taste in spouse should have shifted. Did her taste shift on that ring? 5 of Swords. There's a lot of input there. 7 of Wands. I think she wanted another ring just for another aesthetic. Did Kevin talk her into getting another ring that she paid for? 8 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 9 of Cups. He wanted that ring. You know why? Because he made it into a pinky ring. She got another ring that doubled as her wedding ring, and he made the antique diamond into a pinky ring. 4.5 or 5 carat pinky ring. Greg is over there shaking his head, completely exasperated about this. Tell me how you really feel, Greg.
I went into the wrong business.
You went into the wrong business. I'm going to quote Stanley Kowalski. Where are your pearls and furs? Stella, where are your pearls? Where are your furs? Where are your summer furs? I don't have the line right. I don't. Streetcar Named Desire, kids. Marlon Brando. Treat Williams also played that role. Stanley Kowalski. So my jeweler, Lior, based in Las Vegas, took the diamond and reworked it into a pinky ring for me. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask Tara. He was no jeweler. No jeweler. Are you kidding me? Annabelle just showed up. Did Lior actually give him the vintage diamond back? If he reworked it, does that mean he didn't get the original diamond back? Queen of Wands, Empress, the World, 9 of Swords. I think Lior didn't give him the diamond back. I think Lior gave him a different diamond. I'm just saying. This is tarot. I'm just saying. I have a lot of feels about this, Greg. Lot of feels. So he brings Corey, his daughter, over once they get settled. They're staying at Britney's apartment in Santa Monica. She's off the road. She doesn't have to do anything. There's no rush for an album. She wants to take a year or so off. So he brings Corey over to meet Britney, and Britney's head over heels about her. And he thinks that's, started baby fever in Britney. She wanted to start a family. She's really young, guys. So they start planning the wedding. And as he's planning the nuptials, he thinks, how the hell did I even get here? Was he really thinking that? Was he really, really thinking that? No, he was thinking about how he could make this even work better. How can he work it better? He says something very interesting about Britney's family. He wants to ask her dad, Jamie, for her hand in marriage, which, is my first husband did not do that. And I think my dad always had an issue with it. Greg did. And I think my father liked that very much. I think he was very happy about that. My dad's very old fashioned. So Brittany's dad had just gotten out of rehab. So what a great time to make an assessment of your future son-in-law. What did Jamie think of K-Fed? Sad squirrel, did not like him. But the wheels were already in motion. They already had plans set for the wedding. There was nothing that he could do about it. The only thing that Jamie was thinking is we have to PR this. We have to kind of PR this and make it work as best we can. Did Jamie want to delay the wedding at all? Ace of Cups. Yeah. I think he wanted to delay it a little bit. So Jamie actually did fall from his sobriety after some time, and I think he's sober again. I believe he lost a leg in recent years. So now she was already his fiance. They're already moving forward. He claims that Jamie really liked him. I don't think that he did. The tarot just said that, guys. Sir, is it okay if I marry your daughter? Really? How about offering up something? Now he says something about her family dynamic. There was a lot of love, but there was also a lot of stuff. And he relays that, she had like an on and off relationship with her mother. Who doesn't get mad at their family periodically? We all get mad at our family. We get mad at our relatives and our spouses and our children. And, sometimes the relationship's humming along and sometimes it's not. K-Fed said that he couldn't deal with Shar's family. How is he dealing with Britney's family differently? Queen of Wands, exactly. There's a lot more zeros. 3 of Pentacles. There's money to share. 2 of Pentacles in the past. Knight of Swords. He wants to pretend to be the matchmaker, the peacemaker between her and her family. He's going to try and straddle that line. Now, at this point, I want to stress to you guys, her family is working for her, including her brother, but they are not in charge of her life right now. So he still thinks that he is going to be in charge of this life. So I don't know if it was an I can fix her. I think he wanted to just be in charge of her money and her business and one up them.
Who wouldn't?
The only way that he could one up her parents was by marrying her. Now Caleb is born while they're planning the wedding. Isn't that lovely? He says he remembers the morning vividly. Shar went into labor in Orange County and he was in Santa Monica. Jumped in his car and floored it to the hospital. But Shar had a quick labor. And the baby was born before he got there. So he missed the birth by a few minutes, walked into the room, couldn't hold back the tears because his son was here. It's his firstborn son. And he was overcome with emotion, even though it was awkward. So the nurse took him for some tests and he went up to the roof to get some air. Did he go up to the roof to get some air or did he go up to smoke? 7 of Swords. We all know what he went up to do. You can't even go visit your kid. I don't care if you're smoking cigarettes or smoking a vape or whatever. There really weren't vapes back then. But I don't care what you're doing. Stay in the room, for God's sake. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with him, Greg? Oh, are you busting out the Paula Abdul? Greg's singing Paula Abdul now. Life is messy, but for those few hours, none of it mattered. It was just me and my son and soaking up the first few minutes. So he says Britney was nothing but supported. Now there's rumors, not in this book, it's not in this book, that Britney was out in the car the whole time. Was she? Was Britney waiting in the car the whole time? 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. No, I don't think she was. I don't think she was. I think she was back home. I think she had the sense to give him that space. So that's okay. Good, good, good. But he does lament that he's going to be raising this baby differently. Did K-Fed know at this point that he was going to be able to give his children with Shar better things because of access to money with Britney? 5 of Cups, disappointment's over. Queen of Pentacles, he doesn't have to earn it anymore. When once he was not happy, this is a life-changing event. And did he tell Shar that? 8 of Wands, he did communicate that to her. Don't worry, Shar. I'm going to be able to give these kids everything they ever wanted. What a douche. What a douche. Well, listen, we're going to wrap this one up at this point, and we're going to continue on with the next chapter in the next one. So chapter 7, we're going to be going to a wedding. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Please be sure to like this video and make some comments down below. Let me know what you think. I know I'm frying him. I'm trying not to, guys. I'm really in my heart trying not to fry him. So I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.